Bradley Beal potentially on the trade market. Let's talk about this first, and then we're going to get into all the drafting and all the things because it's all comes together of one. Should the Phoenix Suns trade Bradley Beal? Sure. If it costs them a bunch of second-round picks, because at that point, then I don't care as much. Should the Phoenix Suns trade a first-round pick to get off of Bradley Beal? Hell no. Hell no. This team has already dug themselves a deeper hole enough than to continue to do so, throwing picks down the drain, getting rid of players. If the Suns had all their own first-round picks, and they never did the Kevin Durant deal, and they had a surplus of picks to be able to give to other teams with their players, sure, but they don't have a lot of picks. They don't have a surplus of picks. So they have to find a way to get rid of Bradley Beal using only second-round picks. I am not in the business of digging ourselves a deeper hole with assets. You don't have many of them. I'm not willing to let go of a player just because I don't like him. Sit his ass on the bench. Don't play him. That's fine. You're going to have to pay him his money, and that is what it is. But I do not want to just throw away first-round picks. We don't have any of those. I don't care if they're not good first-round picks. We have to have swings at the bat. And so this idea to get rid of Bradley Beal just so we can get rid of him, I'm not on board with that. It's a really bad way of doing business. I don't want Bradley Beal here any more than you do. But I'm not willing to dig myself a deeper hole just to make myself feel better that he's not going to come in the game. And there's another thing to it. I get it. Jalen Green and Bradley Beal cannot coexist. I am very skeptical that Devin Booker and Jalen Green can coexist. And I like Devin Booker. And I'm starting to buy into the idea of Jalen Green to make myself feel better. But Bradley Beal and Jalen Green can't coexist. Those two guys are oil and water. They are legitimately the same player. Devin Booker, I don't think it's going to work either coexisting with him, but I'm not trading Devin Booker. Don't play Bradley Beal. I don't care. But you can't just go and get rid of first-round picks. It's a really bad place to be. Matt Ishbia has always said he doesn't mind spending money. Time to spend it to keep those picks. It's exactly what the Suns need to do. Just trading him to trade him is not a smart place to be. If you can get something back for him because you gave up a first-round pick, then sure, maybe I might reconsider. But I have a hard time believing that A, they could trade him anywhere, and B, they could get anything for him. And I know, guys, Gambo and Flex, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I believe Gambo a lot more than I believe Flex from Jersey. I think Flex is a really nice guy, but I think his reporting is a little spotty, and I think is most of the time kind of indirect, like you're not really sure what he's trying to say. Whereas Gambo, when he reports, he tells you exactly what he's reporting. I don't buy that there are any teams out there for Bradley Beal, especially teams out there for Bradley Beal that would give you something for him. Now listen, that's my opinion. That could be incredibly wrong. I just don't see it, at least from my perspective. I don't see where you're going to get a player for Bradley Beal that isn't awful, and if you give up a first-round pick or anyone to take Bradley Beal for 5 second-round picks. I've looked around the league multiple times. It's really hard to come up with the money to take Bradley Beal on. The Bulls don't have it. The Pelicans just traded CJ McCollum. They don't have it anymore. The Wizards, I texted a buddy who covers the Wizards yesterday. I asked him, would you give us your terrible contracts Any one of them. I told him, I was like, pick your contracts for Bradley Beal in return, and we'll give you 5 second-round picks. He said, hell no. I said, what if I give you a first-round pick? He said, hell no. These are guys that cover the teams. I have a decent amount of connections where I can check on these things now. Maybe it happens, and I'd be floored. I'd be floored if it happened, actually. But I wouldn't be as floored because Gambo reported it. I don't see it, guys. I simply don't see it. And this is where my tough love segment comes into play. And then we're going to get deep into the draft. But this will lead into it. But I wanted to wait till we had an okay amount of people in the chat to talk about this. Some of you really need to get over Some of you really need to get over the 2021 Finals Phoenix Suns team. I get it. It's nostalgic. But that Suns team, you have to remember, it ended really poorly. Luka Doncic took you to the cleaners. And the argument is, well, I'd rather lose in the semifinals than not make the playoffs at all. No, that's not really true. You have the memory of the finals, and you think that team could contend each and every year for the finals, and that's just not true. Here's the harsh reality about the Phoenix Suns 2021 finals team. That is a magical experience. I grew up on the 7 seconds or less Suns. The Suns were my first love. But let's put it here. Sure, the Suns had injuries as well. Chris Paul got COVID. Chris Paul, hurt his nerve and I think his shoulder. To act like the Suns didn't catch some breaks in that finals is turning a blind eye, putting bird box blinders on. Anthony Davis got hurt in the first round when they were up 2-1. I don't know if the Suns lose that series, but we can't act like they didn't catch a break there. Now, Anthony Davis is always injured, so kind of not on the Phoenix Suns. Jamal Murray got injured before you played the Nuggets without Jamal Murray. And the very next year when they had Jamal Murray, they ran your ass out of town. And then in the Western Conference Finals, you played the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying the Suns were a bad team. They were the 2 seed. They deserved to be there. But they got some breaks along the way too. Now, winning an NBA Finals typically takes a break or two. But that era is over. DeAndre Ayton, you were fine and happy to see him go because he was a lazy player. He had motor issues. And guys, after 1 year with the Portland Trailblazers, they drafted his replacement in Donovan Clingan. And now they have him on the trade block. Chris Paul is 40. He doesn't serve a real purpose anymore. Mikal Bridges, sure. I miss the guy too. I miss Cam Johnson too. I'm not giving up my 10th overall pick so I can feel nostalgic for a couple weeks just to realize, oh crap, this team needs younger star talent. It's time to move on. Those guys serve a really good place in Phoenix Suns history. They're in the good graces, and hell, maybe down the line Mikal Bridges signs here again, and Cam Johnson signs here again. I'm not opposed to that. What I'm opposed to is getting rid of your very minimal assets because you feel nostalgic. And I see my guy in the chat, Brian Abdullah, saying, I mean, we missed DA, but have you seen the center rotation, what we went through? Yeah, you had the same issues with DeAndre Ayton. Sure, double-double guy, fine. But how many times did you watch DeAndre Ayton and say, man, I wish he'd try a little bit harder? And Booker and Kevin Durant were done with it. We have to put away that memory. Put it in the rearview mirror. It's time to start focusing on the next great Phoenix Suns team. Let me tell you a story while my wife is asleep. And because, she's not a madman. She's not up at 7 a.m., getting ready to start her day. I had this girlfriend once, and I'm not going to lie to you, I hated being with this girl, but I didn't know how to break up with her. And, fun fact about me, I've never broken up with a girl before. All of them broke up with me, so which might tell you who the problem is. But the thing about that was when we finally broke up, she broke up with me, and I could only remember all the good times we had. And gotta be honest with you, there weren't many, but I told myself my entire life I would never get back together with a girl until this girl. And this girl asked me to get back together with her again, and we did, because all I could do was remember all the good times. And we got back together, and it stunted my growth. We ended up breaking up anyways. It didn't work out. And all the bad times came back to fruition that I couldn't remember because emotions clouded my judgment. It's very similar to Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. They are that girlfriend that was awesome. You remember all the good times, but you thought you found someone better, so you broke up with them, and now you're remembering all the good times. What you don't remember is Luka Doncic stepping on your throat with both of those guys. What you don't remember is the following year, the reason why they traded Kevin Durant is because they weren't as good as some of the other teams in the Western Conference, i.e. the Denver Nuggets, who put you to bed. It's a little bit of tough love, guys. I love those dudes too. I hope maybe somewhere down the line they come back and be Phoenix Suns again. Mostly the Twins. Not really DA. I'm over that experience. But I'm not giving up my future to do so. Look through the windshield. Stop looking through the rearview mirror. Let's start figuring out the next great Phoenix Suns team instead of looking back at the past on what used to be.